What's going on, man? I don't know why that went so freaking dark. I can't see like anything. Let me see. Hang on. Whoa. I have no clue what happened there. We're working on it. It's a work in progress, right? We'll get rid of that part. This can go here, I guess. Okay, man. Like, can you see me good though? Because it's not looking very nice to me. I could be wrong. I'm trying to kind of pull up. Uh, Yeah, that's weird. It was nice and bright when I first started. So let me see if I can't do this. Oh, it's not like working at all. It's crazy. Maybe it's in the editor here. Let me see. Do, do, do. Nope, not there. Wow, I don't know why it's that dark. Hey, Amanda. I'm just trying to figure out why my screen looks like so dark because it was nice and bright when I was just kind of checking it out, and now it's looking like really dark. So I'm trying to see if I maybe did something wrong in the settings. Let's see if that helps. That is so strange. Yeah, it's dark, but I got a light, and the lights are on in my cab, so I'm not sure why it's doing that. Yeah, I don't use an iPhone, Amanda. I'm an Android guy, but I have like this light, so I feel like it should be lighting me up better. Let's see if that worked. Yeah, that's weird. Wow. I was literally just like testing all the settings and stuff and seeing if it was going to be better, and it's not. That's weird. Let's see. Did it work? Huh. That's weird. I guess we use it like this, and I just look kind of weird when I'm doing it. But we'll wait for some more people to come in. Let me see if I can't do this. Maybe that'll help a little bit. You can't see me, so it's fine to you. Well, I guess it's good enough for now. Um, I have it running like on my TV in the truck, so I can see when things pop up. So I can't really see the screen of my phone. So, but I think we're good for now. I think I think we're good. But yeah, I didn't realize this is all on the screen. That's stuff I'm not allowed to show online. So we'll just take care of that. There we go. That takes care of that. Hey, Fallen, how are you? Uh, Fallen, when I get home, I'll be home for a few days. I'm gonna pick your brain and go through um, that moderator thing to see if we can't get it set up with that, so that way I know, uh, how to get a little better at this. But for right now, it's only my second time, so I guess we can accept the fact that I suck for a minute, and it'll get better. So if you just keep following along, it'll get better. Um, it looks a little better now. Like I said, I could see myself. I can actually show you. So like, I can see all the stuff that you're seeing. So that's what I'm looking at while I'm doing it. All this great stuff to do nothing with. But yeah, I have this little light. Actually, I kind of figured that out. That yeah, but I'm not using the actual YouTube app. I'm using Streamlabs, Chief. She explained that to me in the Twitter feed earlier while we were DMing back and forth in Twitter. So we'll figure it out though. I'll get it up and running. I'll get it going. Hey Danielle. Hey, thanks to everybody who came on. I know that when I was with Ghost Dog and y'all yesterday, I had a bunch of people come and subscribe, and that was awesome. That's pretty cool. I'm really looking to grow the channel, and I know that haunted trucking is a little bit different than what I do over here. I just do more about like where I've been, what I've been doing, and where I've been, and things I've seen, and uh, flying the drone and stuff like that. I haven't flown the drone in a while though. It's up there. I have it up here on the truck, so um, that's like some cool stuff. So it'd be all right. Well, Danielle, I'm glad you came. That's awesome that you're new to the channel. Um, I'm just using it as like a hangout, like just to meet people and say hi and let you guys kind of experience what I experience and show some of the sites. Like if I go somewhere really cool, I'll go live and I'll just pan around. I mean, right now I'm just at a normal truck stop. Um, I'm currently at the Petro in Waterloo, New York, which is actually, I think that's still Seneca Nation, which actually I thought about today, Chief, because as I was going by, they actually have a billboard, and it says how the state of New York is actually screwing over the Indian tribe that owns a lot of the land up here. And they were saying that the state of New York collects all these tolls for people to use the roads, and they don't pay the Indian tribe that actually owns the land. And I think the last count on it was something like $675 million that the state hasn't paid the the tribe for it, which I think is pretty wrong because if they're using their land, they should be giving them what they're owed. But anyway, so yeah, Amanda, I am very north, um, and yeah, that's where I'm at tonight. Where are you guys all from? I know, Amanda, you seem like you're from the south, and I'm pretty sure that Fallen is from the south. And I know Chief is way up in north. He's up in Canada there. Actually, I have relatives, Chief, that are from Canada. I was actually just there about 3 weeks ago. They live up in New Brunswick. Um, that's right, Fallen, North Carolina. I will hopefully soon be a North Carolinian. I'm trying to move out of Connecticut. That's where I'm normally from. Uh, I call it my vacation house. I get to go vacation with my beautiful kids and my wife and my dog. I want to bring my dog so bad with me. We'll talk about that today too. So I'm going to spend like maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half. We'll see how it goes. I do have to start driving later on tonight, so I do have to get at least 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I have my last leg, and I am going to try to surprise my daughter and try to get home before she goes on the bus because she is missing me something terrible. She Skypes with me back and forth, and she's always telling me, "I love you, Daddy. I miss you, Daddy." So it makes it tough, but the key thing is in a trucker's life and in a trucker's world, you need to understand that you're making sacrifices, and why you're sacrificing is really the greater good. So I make a sacrifice to be away from my wife and kids for 2 to 3 weeks at a time because I know I'm having them have a nice life. We have a great house. We have a great piece of property. and they don't really need anything. They never want anything, which is really good too. I always brag about that. My wife is a very low maintenance kind of person, and I usually have to drag it out of her to actually, you know, to get anything out of her as far as a gift or whatnot. My daughter, she's easy peasy. So like, I'll show you two of the things. So I'll pick up little trinkets on the road, little silly things, you know. So I was in Walmart the other day grabbing a couple things for the truck, and now my son is 3 years old. So my son Jacob is a 3 year old, and he is a huge um, wow, I just had a brain fart. It's not Paw Patrol. PJ Masks. So for Halloween, I got him this little handle thing for Catboy. That he can get his little bucket for trick or treating. So that'll be his little surprise when I get home. And then I was here at the Petro here earlier, and I decided that I really got to get my 8-year-old daughter something, because if I don't get my little daughter something, she's going to think I'm favoring my son. My 18-year-old is much easier to deal with because she is an 18-year-old, so she'd care less. So I got her this little cupcake thing, and I guess when you open it, there's a little doll inside there, and it's kind of a little trick kind of thing. So like that, and that's them. The kid, the oldest one's easy. I'm gonna take her out on Friday. We'll go get lunch together while her sister and brother are at school and daycare and stuff like that. So that's my little contribution per se. So I'll go through my truck. So we'll talk about why my truck is named Jesse, which brings me to my 8-year-old. So my 8-year-old says to me, when I first bought the truck, if you rewind back the time when I was a company driver, it was a joke of mine with friends that I would always name my truck. So when I was with Schneider as a company driver, I had 3 trucks when I was new. And my first truck was Freddie. That was Freddie the Freightliner. My second truck was Hank. I don't remember why we called it Hank, but we just thought it was funny to call it Hank. So the second one was Hank. And the third one was Clark. And the third one we named Clark because Lewis and Clark, and because of Clark Griswold, because we just thought it was funny. And it was just something fun to make a name for it. So now that I bought my truck, and this is my truck, my 8-year-old Emily asked me, Dad, can I name your truck? So I said, well, within reason. You always got to add the within reason, because if you don't add within reason, you never know what an 8-year-old's going to come up with. And then for those of you that have small children or had small children, you know exactly where I'm coming from on this one. So she said, I want to name it Jesse. And I said, well, do you want it as boy Jesse or girl Jesse? And she said, Jesse is a girl's name, Dad. And I said, no, Jesse can be both. But sure. So we will name it Jesse. So hence, Jesse's Adventures in Trucking is actually Jesse. The name of my truck is Jesse. My name is actually Scott. But the truck's name is Jesse. So that explains Jesse. Jesse is a 2019 Freightliner. And Jesse actually just turned 179,000 miles about 7 miles ago. So right before I got to where I was, she turned 179,000 miles. And I got her, she had 53 miles, I think. So I put a lot of miles on it in the last, I bought it last June, so July, August, September, October. So you figure 16 months, I put about 170,000 miles like that. So, yeah, so that's pretty neat. So that was how the truck got the name, and how this channel got the name, and this is an homage to my daughter. So that's pretty cool. I liked it. It worked for me. This truck is actually pretty close to those of you that watch Ghost Dog and his truck is pretty much the same. Slight differences. Mine is designed for an owner operator. His design the way his company wants it set up. So, for instance, I have a very large refrigerator in my truck. I'm pretty sure he has the same APU. So, an APU, for those of you who don't know, is an alternative power unit. So basically, what that means is I have a generator of sorts that's strapped to the side of the truck. It's built to the frame, so it can't go anywhere. And that diesel engine will run off the same diesel as my truck engine. Well, the benefit is if I turn my truck on and let it run all night to power all my electronics and everything like that, or my microwave, my refrigerator, my air fryer, or my AC, my heat, things like that, my truck will burn about 8 to 10 gallons in a 10-hour period of just idling. So being I pay for my own fuel, average fuel cost between maybe $2.80 and $3.25 a gallon, might as well buy a hotel room at that point. So the APU will run for about 10 hours for about 1 gallon of fuel. So it's a very fuel efficient way. It's still low emissions, and that kind of like powers everything in my truck. So I have like the TV. Yeah, Danielle, I think you were talking to us last night about your dad, right? Was that you that was on the thing? And yes, Amanda, my air fryer is fancy. I love my air fryer. I have cooked so many crazy things in that air fryer, from omelets to grilled cheese to steak and shrimp. I mean, I cook everything in that thing. I love my air fryer. My air fryer is awesome. Maybe that's what I'll do one day. I will do a live feed when I clean it up. At the end of the tours, I call them tours when I'm out. I'll take you guys on a little tour of the truck. I'll show you how I have it set up, what I have in the truck, things like that. So that'd be a good idea for the next one. Trying to think here. I stumbled away for a second there. Let me take a sip of my Rain energy drink. See if that helps pick my brain a minute. Okay. Basically, my truck is a tenement on wheels. I can live in this truck for quite a while. The only issue that I don't have, which is why my wife will not come on the road with me, is there is no shower and there is no bathroom. So if I need a shower or bathroom, I have to find a truck stop or one of our terminals or something like that. Easy enough for a guy, but I can see where it'd be a problem for a girl. But it is exciting. Not as exciting as you would think, though. Truck drivers, water, energy drinks. You know, here's a funny thing about energy drinks, and that's why I was kind of picking on Ghost Dog last night. Is that when he drinks those monsters, there's so much crap in them, and I know that some of them are healthier. I guess nothing's really healthy for you anymore. But true story. There's these metal plates on the side of my truck, and when you buy it brand new, they have these white stickers on them. So when you pull the stickers off, it leaves like a glue film on the bottom of it. Believe it or not, what polishes the metal and gets that glue residue off, you pour Monster Energy drink on it, you wipe it with a rag, and it comes right off. And it polishes the metal. So if you want to put that in your stomach, I guess that's okay. These Reigns are pretty good. There are no calories. There's no artificial flavoring. There's no artificial sweeteners. It's all pretty natural. They add some amino acids and vitamins and stuff in them, so it'll be all right. I don't think it's going to kill me yet. So I can move on. Yes, Amanda, actually, Green Monster, the regular Monster energy drink, will actually work better than Goof Off in polishing metal and getting residue off and things like that. Yeah, it'll actually eat right away at it, and it cleans metal really good. So something to think about next time you want to crack one open and take a drink. It'll shine metal. So I don't think it's really good to be throwing a lot of that down your stomach. But we all have our vices. I mean, some people smoke cigarettes. I vape. I enjoy vaping. I quit smoking probably 8 years ago when my daughter was born. Got tired of it. I used to smoke 2, sometimes 3 packs a day when I used to work on the ambulance and the fire department. So, yeah, yeah, it would have that. Um, yeah, yeah, it'll definitely work. It'll definitely work, Amanda. So, we'll go into how I name my business. So, I do work for Schneider. I am a contractor with them, which means that my truck will only move their trailers and will only move their freight. So, the benefit of that is uh, I pick my own loads. I choose where I go. I choose when I go home. But it's exclusive. I can only pull Schneider's things, which is good. Pays well. It gets me by. Pays the bills. So my business name is Finders Keepers Transport LLC. And most people will say, wow, that's a clever name. Find freight, transport it. Finders Keepers, Finders Keepers. There's actually a really, really sweet, deep meaning for that for me. So December 21st of 2017, my father had passed away. And it was actually one of the best, worst experiences of my life. I actually got to be there with my dad literally till his last breath. I was there for the last few days in the hospital with him. Um, Sent him off on a beautiful way. My father was a big man of God. He loved church. He loved Christ. All that stuff. So when he was taken off the medication that was pretty much keeping him alive, um, me, my sister, my mother, his pastor, we all got to stand around and I played some songs on my phone that he would like, and we sang to him until he took his last breath. So he went out doing something he really liked to do. He really loved to worship the Lord, and he was able to do that and be surrounded by his family. And it was just a really, really powerful experience. So me and my dad were real tight, and my father was also a business owner, and his business growing up that I used to work for him and pretty much all my life that he would do is he was a used auto parts locator. So he owned his own business. So if you were a mechanic shop or you were a body shop, you would call him up and say, I need a door, I need a motor, I need a bumper, I need a tire, I need this, this, this. So, oh man, it was definitely not a loss for me. I know where my dad is. I'm going to see him again. So I'm okay. But thank you. I appreciate the sentiment. So his business name was Finders Keepers Used Auto Parts. So that's the connection. So to honor my father and me going into owning my own business, I named my business Finders Keepers Transport, where his was Finders Keepers Auto Parts. So I think a piece of my dad is always with me when I'm going around, and I think that my dad really would have got a kick out of it, and that's really one thing I don't know if I'm really sad about it, because like I said, I know that he's not sick anymore and he's not in pain anymore, and that's like some personal stuff that I'm sharing here, but it's okay, like we're cool. But even when I worked locally, I would get a phone call almost every day. Hey son, where'd you go today? What'd you do today? And I'm like, Dad, I'm delivering gas. Like I'm doing everything very just nothing special. He would have really got a kick out of what I'm doing here, and I think that in a way he watches over me and he knows what I'm doing. So that's my great big story today of how I name my business and how I name my truck. See, I don't lie. I told you guys I was going to talk about it today. I'm glad I got through it and with a straight face, kind of, because yeah, my dad and I were really tight, but that's how I carry the name. I think eventually I'm just going to put Dad underneath the passenger window, and I'll say, my dad's kind of always riding with me. He's always around and doing whatever. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. That's my cool story for today. There was nothing really exciting today. I was like, hoping that there was something cool that I was going to see from my way from Indiana, and then I went through Ohio, and then I went through Pennsylvania, and now I'm like halfway through New York, and it was uneventful. So there's not really much that I can talk about cool today. I guess it was better than some other people. I know some other drivers that are stuck in the snow right now, so I don't have that going on. Ooh, that one's empty. Yay, I got it in my trash pail. So, do you guys have any questions? Do you have any trucking related questions? Life on the road questions? Anything you always wanted to know about a truck driver? I mean, I could tell you a lot. I'm not going to say that I'm like, the super trucker, but I do know a lot of stuff, and I've seen a lot of stuff. Um, my illustrious career that I've had so far between this and the many jobs I've had before, I I do collect these little magnets that go on my fridge. Let's see. I'll pull one off for you guys. So here's the little magnets I have. Here's a North Carolina one, and I stick them on the. Every time I go through another state, I put them on my fridge. So my daughter, when she comes and gets in my truck, she gets to see where I've been. Have I been in any country outside of the U.S. like Canada? So with my contract, I can't drive except for in the 48 states with my truck. But I have been to Canada several times to visit my relatives. I have relatives up in New Brunswick, Canada, and yeah, I like Canada. Canada's beautiful, very expensive, but it's beautiful. It kind of reminds me of New England. I mean, it's cold in the winter and warm in the summer, and you get snow, and the snow goes away, and the snow comes back. Um, and yeah, that's worst food to eat while on the road. Hmm. Do you mean like worst food as in a brand of food, or what is the worst food I could eat where like I'm not driving because I'm spending time in the men's room? That's two big different things. While I wait for you that, I'll count. This is how many states I've been in. 36. 36 states. How do you get rid of fart smell after you do it? Oh, that's an easy one, buddy. It's right here. Okay, right behind the seat. A little squirt of the old Febreze, and it's good to go. um, the Indian style way. Oh man, no pee pee in the teepee, right? So it's actually a cool question, though, Fallen, that you asked about food because, like I explained to Amanda on her page when I was watching some of her video the other day, or actually earlier today when I was on my 30-minute break, I have Crohn's disease, so it's tricky for me. I have to be careful what I eat and drink because something really could trigger it off, and if it triggered it off, then you know it could be kind of bad for me. Usually, if I get sick with Crohn's, I end up in the hospital for a few days, sometimes a week. I was in for 3 months a few years ago before I had surgery done, so that would be a bummer because I definitely have a lot of money invested here that I got to pay. The notes that you should take with Ghost Dog is do not let him take his shoes off. No. Um, well, you see, Amanda, it's funny because like I know that you were explaining that in your video, and I'm not going to go into great detail about it because that's kind of your thing, and I don't want to spread your life on here. Be respectful, but with Crohn's disease, it's actually a very unique disease in a way where it's different for each individual person. So, in other words, what you may be able to eat, I may not be able to if we both had Crohn's. Something may affect me differently than you. So, in other words, if I eat a lot of popcorn, I'll probably end up in the hospital. If I eat a lot of raw vegetables, I'll probably end up in the hospital. I don't process those very well. Um, 3 years ago, I did have a foot of my large intestine and a foot of my small intestine taken out. Um, that seemed to do the trick. I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't really had any issues, so that's a good thing. If I could just fix my back and my knee, I'd be pretty good. I have a knee injury. I've injured my right leg. Apparently my body doesn't want my right leg because that's the only thing it really, haunted feet. Yeah, haunted feet. Uh, and I got rear-ended pretty bad a couple of years back, and I have a couple of bulge discs. So sometimes I have a little problem with that. But otherwise, hey, I'm all right. You know, I could tell you from being on the road, I am so sick and tired. And honestly, I would never thought I would get sick and tired of Wendy's, Arby's, Subway, and believe it or not, McDonald's. I really don't like McDonald's anymore either because it's just that's what you have. Um, you know, I always joke, Amanda. I always say that I think that colonoscopies are cool. It's the best chemically induced nap I could ever take, and I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I don't know why people make such a big deal out of colonoscopies. It's really you take a nap, you wake up, you fart a lot, they give you a cookie, they give you some juice, and you go home. I mean, it's pretty simple. Um, but my buddy was saying that, not to get too into it, but he was saying that they don't put you to sleep anymore for it. They kind of just numb you up down there. I don't know if I'd be okay with that. I don't think I want to. I don't know. Um, very small quantities, Amanda. Very small quantities is how I get by with having some kind of a fast food or whatnot. Uh oh. Oh, okay, cool. I, I saw on the TV over here the spinny wheel that it like froze up for a second, or it looked like it froze up for a second, but I think it was just my phone kind of doing that. My problem with a colonoscopy is I've had so many of them. The barium that you have to drink, as soon as it hits my lips, I want to throw it up. So I have a hard time keeping it down. So usually there's pills I could take for it that my doctor accommodates me. I'm probably due for another one too. I just uh, been real busy. Is it back? Can you see me now? It did freeze. Am I still going? I hope so. I can see it on my TV. Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? I think we're good. I'm just gonna keep on going. If it's frozen, oh well. Oh well. Oh well. I gotta stop that. My wife gets very upset with me when I sing Christmas songs before Halloween. She doesn't like that at all. She actually made a Facebook post the other day. So my wife puts a Facebook post about it's not okay to listen to Christmas music. So I put it on I put it on my Facebook. Is it wrong that I like to listen to Christmas music on XM radio? Because they just started playing it on the Hallmark channel. And I got all excited about it. And she was on the phone. My wife and I, we talk every morning. When she's on her way to work, she'll call me and we'll talk. And every night before she goes to bed, we talk. And that's our thing, you know. And she's like, are you listening to Christmas music? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, what is wrong with you? It's not even Halloween yet. I'm like, I don't know. Christmas is like my favorite. I've always liked Christmas. I mean, from personal to religious to family, like everything is cool about Christmas. I mean, how can you not like Christmas? So, yeah. she was making fun of me about it. She was poking fun at me, and she had this weird picture of different parts of the brain for different kind of headaches, and it showed the whole head red, and it said when your husband is singing Christmas music before Thanksgiving. So yeah, it's great. It's good stuff. So I like that. Uh, See, everybody loves Christmas music. I'm not listening to her. I think she's just picking on me. You know what? She's a closet Christmas fan. That's what she is. She's a closet Christmas fan. Hey, Canadian Witches. Look at that. We got a whole 4 people in here. You'll have to go back and like replay the whole heart to heart where I, I dug deep and I reached in and took my heart and gave it to you guys about how I named my truck and well, I didn't name my truck, but how my truck was named and how my business was named. I thought it was a pretty cool story. You guys thought it was a good story too. So come on, what do we got? Any more questions about trucking? I was trying not to vape very much because to keep down the noise, there's a little fan that's behind me over here, and I can exhaust the vape, and but I think it's loud. You know, maybe I'll try it. Let's see. Let me know if that's too loud. We'll say 1 for yes and 2 for no. So we'll take a little poll. Shouldn't take long. There's only 5 people in here. I don't know if that's going to make too much background noise. Wait, now I forgot. Is it 1 for yes and 2 for no? So no, it's not making too much background noise? See, look, I'm terrible. ADD. Squirrel. I don't think it's that noisy, but you never really know what the microphone's going to pick up on the camera. You know what the worst part is? I actually have a cool mic that I can hook up to this thing, and it's sitting up above me. Okay, we're good. I'll take your word for it, Amanda, because you probably have better hearing than any of us. I would get up and get my nice microphone and plug it in, but first off, I don't know if. Yes, I'm gonna. I think I've roped in Fallen for that, but I'm not on YouTube because I don't have Wi-Fi here. And what advice do you give to 4-wheelers when driving interstate? I could spend about 10 minutes on that because there's a lot of things I could tell you guys about how to drive around a tractor trailer that could possibly save your life. And I could tell you a very tragic story about that too. So, what was I saying? See? Squirrel. I told you. All right. So that's a great, great thing, Fallen. Oh, Canadian. That's what I was talking about. I think Fallen's going to end up being a mod for me. I just have to get on Wi-Fi because between my tablet, my phone, and this phone, I have totally destroyed all my hotspot gigs for the month because I was trying to download all the stuff to play the new Modern Warfare game that I bought while I was on my 34-hour break, and I failed miserably about it. So, yeah, it's kind of the way it is. So I'm stuck just using the phone. But I'm using the Streamlabs, and Ghost Dog doesn't like Streamlabs, but I think it looks kind of cool. I mean, I figured out how to put my little Jesse's Adventures in Trucking up here on the top, and I don't know if you guys could see it popping up. I think you can when somebody comments. Right now, it's just I see all words on the screen. So, like, I guess I don't see it on here. I see it on there. Like I just saw Amanda pop up. So that's cool. I mean, I like it so far. And it's letting me get on YouTube without having 1,000 viewers because I think it's going to take probably 10 years for me to get that 1,000 viewers. And even so, he's having a problem getting out with 1,000. So, like, it's really weird. Amanda, you're too much. So let's talk about 4-wheelers and driving safely around tractor trailers. Here's the biggest thing, guys. We know we're slow. We know we can't always get up to speed fast. We're honestly not trying to block you guys all the time. So we could give lots of scenarios, okay? So let's say I'm about to go up a hill. Now, I'm going to get into it because I want to get momentum to get up that hill. Otherwise, my truck will slow down enough and it'll give me a hard time. So if I see a truck in front of me that's going a little bit slower, I'm going to try to pass him real quick to get out of your way and get in front of him. I don't want to cut him off, so I'm going to get around. As soon as I get around, I'm going to let you guys get by me. I'm not trying to hold anybody up. The basic things you don't want to do is you have to understand that I cannot see. Hey, Mary. Okay. In a tractor trailer, if I have my fender mirrors and my door mirrors, so I have 2 California mirrors and 2 concave mirrors, convex mirrors, one of those mirrors, and I have my fender mirrors. The only part that I cannot see as far as a blind spot is 75 feet straight behind me. So if you're within 75 feet of the back of my trailer and it's not nighttime and I can't see your headlights, I don't know you're back there. If you rear end me, I probably wouldn't know you're there. And if you look it up on YouTube, YouTube actually has some videos of trucks that are actually dragging cars by their trailer because I won't feel it. A hit like that doesn't really affect me much. So always be mindful of that. Turn your headlights on when it's raining because I may not see you in my mirror if you don't have your headlights on. That's a good one. Use your turn signals. If you're going to pass me, try to count 5 spotted lines. You know, try to get about 5 lines ahead of me, then come over in front of me. My truck has what's called an adaptive cruise control, and it has a collision mitigation system. If you cut right in front of me, my truck automatically applies the brakes. So sometimes I'm driving along. This is me driving. Doop-de-doop-de-doo. All is right with the world. Get cut off. My brakes hit. It's going to slow me down. You guys can't hear what I say to you because I'm in my truck and I'm in my safe space. But it sucks. Trust me, it sucks. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to kill nobody. I just want to mosey on down the road. Let you guys go. Chances are you're going to catch a ticket before I do, so I don't mind. When you pass a truck, just pass. Don't do this. Don't do this. Okay? You don't want to do this. You want to get up, pass, safely in front, come over. Pass, over. Use turn signals. Use your headlights if it's raining. Very sad story. I have my wife's good friend's mother had gotten into an accident. If I'm remembering it correct, she was passing a truck and a tire blew out, and it actually forced her car off the road, and she didn't make it. So the trucks can be very, very dangerous. The tires I have, we'll put it into perspective for you. A car tire has about 32 pounds of pressure in it as far as air. My truck tire has 110 pounds of pressure in it. So if a truck tire is going to blow off, which they do because there's a lot more weight and a lot more stress on the tire, it has a lot of force. A tire blows off and blows out, it can literally push your car off the road. And the last thing, we don't want to hurt anybody. We don't. Truck drivers are not dirty people. Truck drivers are not all perverts. We're not trying to look down your shirt as you're passing us. I might glance over to see what you're doing and make sure you're not on your phone. You're not trying to kill me. But I'm not checking you out. I got a gorgeous wife at home. I could care less what you look like. As long as you're being cool and you ain't going to hit me. And I sure do not want to see some of the things I've seen when I do glance over, because that's just not good. It's bad, bad stuff that I'm not going to talk about. And most of us are more than willing to help if we need. So headlights are very important, though, because honestly, I may not see you at all. If you're in the mirror and you're on side of me and it's the spray from the water's coming off my truck, I won't see you. And if I blink and you don't flash your high beams or you don't back off, I might just come right over into you, and it's not even something that I'm trying to do. Like I said, I don't want to hurt anybody. I spend the majority of my life helping people. I don't want to hurt nobody. But yeah, so that's the best advice I could give you as a four-wheeler driving a car. Just give trucks room. Think of us like big, friendly dinosaurs that could kill you very easily. We don't want to do that. So that's the best advice I can give you as far as that. And yeah, just give us room. It's kind of like motorcycles. Give motorcycles room too. You know, you can hurt a motorcycle very easy. I can hurt both of these really easy. I don't want to, but it can happen. I have an extensive hat collection in my truck. They're like hanging all around my truck. I have a whole bunch up top. So that's like one of my things when I'm on the road. I do collect a lot of hats. Um, Things to stay busy with. Like I'm going to start doing more of these. So hopefully we grow and more people come in and more people talk and things like that. And yeah, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Um, like I said, when I come back out of the house, my truck will be nice and clean and organized, and things won't be falling all over the place. So when I come back on the road, I will do a live. I might do a live from the house. You never know. Well, that's why they call them accidents, though, too, Amanda. Actually, proper terminology is a MVC, and they changed that years back with the fire department and ambulance. Now it's a motor vehicle crash um, instead of an accident. Because an accident implies nobody's at fault. Uh, I do. I actually have a lot of funny hats. So I try not to get too political on my pages and stuff. But like, I have a "Make America Great Again" hat, and I have a good reason behind why I wear that, and I can tell you about it. So when I wear a "Make America Great Again" hat, that's not only signifying that I agree with some of what the president says. I don't agree with all of it, but I believe we're moving in the right direction in government. Without getting too far into it, that's pretty much where I'm going to go with it. But "Make America Great Again" means to me is if I can help somebody, or I can be polite to somebody, or I could just make somebody's day, I'm making America great again. Because there's too much divisiveness, there's too much drama, there's too much garbage in this world. Why not just try to make the world a better place for somebody else? You know, one of my videos that I put on YouTube, I have one of those little electric scooters, and I look really funny on it because I'm not exactly a small guy. But it's kind of a cool thing because if there's a lot of flat ground around, my big butt doesn't have to walk. I can ride my little scooter around. And I was in Marianna, Florida, and um, I rode it over to the Dairy Queen. It was about 105 degrees that day. It was a really miserable day. And I mean, I had my APU going. I had my AC on high. I had my curtains pulled. And here, I'll show you. So that's my curtains. My curtains are pulled right now. And those do a pretty good job at blocking out the sun and blocking out the heat. Oh, did I do this wrong? Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're kind of crooked. Oh, well. So anyway, so I'm in Marianna, Florida, and I ride over to Dairy Queen. I'm like, you know what? I'm going for it. I'm getting an ice cream. It's hot. I just want to chill. And as I go up to Dairy Queen, there's a man sitting on the sidewalk with his dog, and he's got a sign that says "Dreaming of Food." It's kind of different. So I says to the guy, "Are you hungry?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Would you like some food?" And he said, "Sure." So I'm not going to give you money, but if you want to come in to Dairy Queen, I'll buy you some food. So I bought him a meal, and I got his dog a couple of hamburgers, and I got his dog a nice big ice water that he could have a drink, and talked for a few minutes, and all was right with the world. So something like that, to me, that's the "Make America Great Again," how I see it. And I don't see it as, well, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, you're a Libertarian, you're whatever. I mean, I'm an adult enough to have friends that maybe we do differ on our political beliefs. I have friends that are pro-choice and pro-abortion. I'm pro-life, but we still exist together because in my mentality, God loves everybody. So you may have a different opinion, but I'm not here to judge you. I'm not God. So you got to deal with how you deal with your life. And when you die, you have to meet Him, and you'll have to answer for yourself. So that's pretty much as far as I'm going to go with politics because it just doesn't really. I don't hold it against anybody. You believe what you believe. In the end, you got to answer for yourself. That's really what it boils down to. As long as you're not hurting me or my family, I'm good. But if you want to see a very evil side of me, come mess with my kids or my wife. You're not going to like it. But anyway, so I have hats. Like I went to the trucking show. There was a trucking show down in Dallas, and I went down there, and everybody gives away hats. So I have all these hats around my truck now. I have a Bubba's 33, which I think that's only in North Carolina, if I remember right. I don't know where. I don't know where you guys are in North Carolina. I'm looking at moving down into the Hope Mills, Rayford area, so that's where I'm trying to go down and you know get my situation down there where it's a little cheaper to live. But I went to this restaurant, Bubba's 33, and it was phenomenal. And my buddy who lives down there outside of Fort Bragg, he made friends with the manager, and the manager, I jokingly said, "Hey, can I get a hat?" And he gave me a hat. So like, let's see, can I get it without hurting myself on camera? So here's my official Bubba's 33 hat. And this is what their staff actually wears. Let's see. There you go. Bubba's 33. Great spot. Cool beans. Free hat. I always take free hats. So I got that. I gotta make America great again. Up over here, I have my DAP board. DAP board is a like a load board that you can pick loads off. I can't because I don't. If I was on my own, I could pick loads off of there. But they gave me a free hat, so I took a free hat. I actually have funny hats too. Like I have a hat that looks like a MAGA hat, but it's a Bass Pro Shops hat. And it says "Make fishing great again." So that's always an interesting one. I actually had a guy in Missouri want to fight me about that. Tell me he was going to come knock my hat off my head. So I simply asked him if he had a good dentist because he would need it if he came closer. He didn't come closer. The dentist was averted, and he ended up reading the hat and ending up being like pretty cool about it. So like I have that. I have a shirt. I have a shirt that has Smokey Bear on it, and instead of his Ranger hat, it's a Red Ranger hat, and it says MAGA, and it says "Only you can prevent socialism." And I couldn't tell you how many good conversations I've gotten with complete strangers over just a simple shirt. Either they come at me really angry about it, like, "What's that supposed to mean?" And then I explain my theory to them, and they're like, "Oh, all right, he's all right." Or they just shake their head and walk away, and that's cool. I had an old friend of mine, Amanda, that had a phrase: "If it's free, it's for me. If you got to pay, let it stay." I don't know if I'd follow that one to a T, but he used to. You could offer him anything for free, and he would take it. I get really cool stuff on the road. So here, I'll show you that. I'm just noticing the back of my seat pocket here. So, um, TA Petro at their booth at the truck show was giving away these. And these are little, like, men's grooming kits. So it's got, like, a little mirror, some toe clippers, some nail clippers, a file, I think this is a little thing that like digs underneath your nails. Um, a pair of tweezers, a little pair of snips to get my nose hairs, which I don't do that, but it was cool. It was free. Took it. Sure, why not? Sometimes you get little cool trinkets on the road. Like I got free apple pie today after dinner, so that was pretty cool. Um, ooh, I got this bad boy. This thing was kind of cool. I got this a while ago. This is my expandable back scratcher, so I can scratch the old back while I'm driving on the road. I actually keep that in my passenger seat because it comes in handy when you get that little itch that you just can't quite grab. So I have that. These little magnet, not magnets, but little sticker, like, things like that. It's pretty neat. Yeah, we get some. Sometimes we get some pretty cool stuff. Before I bought this truck, I was actually working at Chicken Alfredo for dinner. Ooh, I had a giant, big, thick piece of lasagna and some spaghettis for dinner. I guess I'll call it because it was kind of like my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Because when I'm done here, I'm gonna go take a nap for 2 or 3 hours, and I'm gonna go back on the road. Um, where was I going with this? God, I hate when I lose track like that. It's so strange. But we get a lot of cool little stuff. Oh, before I bought the truck, I was working at Yo Crunch. So Yo Crunch, I'm sure most of you have seen them in the stores. That's the yogurt that they try to play it off as being healthy, but then they give you like Snickers bars, Twix bars, um, you know, Oreo cookies. Like, hey, it's healthy. You're eating yogurt, but you're dumping candy into it, so it's not really healthy. M&Ms. They do a whole bunch of stuff. So I was the shipping and receiving foreman there, and Schaefer was the company used to do all the refrigerated trucks that would take our yogurts all over the place. And we used to give away yogurt like it was crazy. Some guys just loved coming in there. Hey, you got any free yogurt today? Yeah, sure. You go help yourself. So it was cool. I always try to give back. Blinner might be a trait. That might be a trait. You know what? If you guys remember, the next time Ghost Dog goes live, hashtag Blinner, but don't tell him what it's about. We'll see if he watches this later on. Sounds good. I think that'll work. Hashtag Blinner. We're going to make it happen. So we made that happen. I hope. I know Amanda will do it. I have faith in Amanda. I think Fawn will definitely do it because she likes picking on Ghost Dog. So I think that'd be kind of funny. But yeah, the things that we do to kind of uh, stay busy is I do these videos now. Uh, the drone. I'm going to fly the drone. See, here's the thing. Technically, I cannot do a live feed on YouTube for a drone um, because the only way I could do a live YouTube on a drone, and I hate to admit it because I really don't like Apple products, is if I had an iPhone or an iPad. And the reason being is that when I'm flying the drone, I'm connecting my phone to the remote, and the remote controls the drone. So I could see on my phone a live feed of where the drone is. I could see a whole bunch of different things. But I can't do the Wi-Fi and the network, if that makes sense. An iPhone you can, an Android you can't. Until they figure out a way for us to be able to do it with Android, it'll be pre-recorded. But I'm trying to think. Maybe what I'll do is there's a park pretty close to my house. It's beautiful. It's got a waterfall and everything. Maybe I'll do some drone footage of the park um, and try to get it. I do have videos up there, but if you guys are new to the page, if you go back a little bit, I do have some drone footage. Um, and I know Fallen's watched some of it because I know she's commented that she liked it. I love it. I want to actually get I want to get a new drone. There's a newer one that's out that I really want to get, but they're really, really like expensive. I get it, Amanda. I see how that would be an issue for you to be able to enjoy that. But I can narrate it. I can narrate, like, one of my drone videos is I was parked in a casino parking lot up in Connecticut, which actually stunk really bad because I was so close for going home and I couldn't get there because of my hours of service. So I was stuck there. My wife did come up the next day though, and we all had dinner at the casino with her and the kids. So that was kind of cool. So I flew it around. Next to the parking lot is actually a nice big river that comes down, and there's a nice skyway kind of bridge. There's actually coincidentally to kind of loop it in with a lot of what a lot of people that are viewing this right now are into. Across the lake, if you look at the video again, you'll see some old brick buildings that are kind of boarded up, and there's some that are actually gone now. Well, that used to be a big mental asylum. There used to be a lot of paranormal people that would actually go there and check it out, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I never been in that one. I did work nighttime security in an old mental asylum that was closed down, and there was some kind of weird stuff that happened there. I'm not going to say I don't believe in ghosts. I am skeptical, but I won't say 100% that I don't believe in ghosts, but I won't say 100% that I've seen a ghost, if that makes sense. I do believe there's spirits and demons because the Bible says there is. I just don't really, I don't know. I don't maybe look for them because I don't want to get into trouble, per se. But anyway, so there's that up on the hilltop, and that was, I'm trying to think of what the name of that hospital used to be. I used to bring patients there. But anyway, it's closed, it's boarded up, they're tearing most of it down. I think there's only one or two buildings still left, which is a shame because it was really nice buildings. There was like that nice kind of architecture to it. I'll have to, that's what I'll do. If it's not raining too bad and I can get some time this weekend, I will make a video of the Fairfield Hills campus. Not right now, but if you look it up in YouTube later on, if you look up Fairfield Hills, either, mental asylum or Fairfield Hills Hospital, Connecticut, there's actually a huge campus. There was, I want to say 12 or 13 buildings, and I'll take some aerials of that. I'll show you guys kind of how that looks. But I used to work security there, and actually, see, I could tell you a couple of stories. So my best friend and I, we used to work midnights there. I'll tell you a few little stories for there, and we'll see what you guys think, because you guys are more like the experts on some of this stuff, and I really don't know anything about it. So we used to do 2 hours on and 2 hours off. So for 2 hours, I would just sit in an office and stare at a wall. That was before the internet was really big, and you had like the bunny ear TV, and after like 2 in the morning, there was nothing on TV anyway. So you used to just listen to the radio. And cell phones weren't as interesting back then. So it was literally very boring. So I would spend 2 hours in the office. He would be 2 hours out in the pickup truck, and he would patrol the area. So he would drive around for 2 hours, and then he would come back, and I would get in the truck, and I would drive around for 2 hours. So at the time, the state had just closed the facility. It was probably about 6 months closed at that point. So everything wasn't really buttoned down, but it was pretty locked up tight. There was really not much we had to do except for just drive around and look for, cars or things like that, And he had called in and said, "Hey, I'm here at the Kent House," which one of the houses was called the Kent House. And the Kent House was for the criminally insane people, and that was like the extreme lockdown buildings. And he said that he found the front door open a bit, and when he had walked up to the door, he shined his flashlight inside, and he heard very loudly and very clearly, "Get the F out." So he immediately closed the door and backed off, and then called me. So at the time, the state still had control over the property, so we couldn't call local police. We had to call the state police. Um, the state police came down actually with 2 canines and searched the entire building, and there was nothing in that building. There was nobody there. Uh, there's really no way in or out of there unless you had a key, because the doors, you have to have a key to get in and a key to get out, because it was a mental asylum. But there's really cool tunnels that connect all the buildings there, and there was a lot of really neat stuff. Like, I remember one Halloween, actually, um, we spent most of the night. Now, I could be wrong, so was it 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning is what they would call, like, the witching hour? So we were trying to see if the place was really haunted, and we were like, okay, so we're going to walk in here, and we're going to spend time in the morgue, like where they would do the autopsies and stuff. We kind of just hung out in there for like an hour or two, but we didn't really see anything. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because of my religious beliefs, ghosts don't approach me. But then again, I know people that are very spiritual also, and they see them all the time. I don't know. I'm very confused. But it's okay, because I'm kind of cool with them staying in their lane and I'll stay in mine. But that was a really cool story. And I have no reason not to believe him. I've known him since first grade. I mean, we grew up together, so I don't believe he was lying to me. I would kind of know if he was messing. Um, the the really freaky story that I will tell you guys is I have a friend who has now passed on. He passed away at a young age, um, and they said he had a blood infection. I found out later he might have had um, other issues that created his death. Rather, I'm not going to get into it on here. So he wanted to. So he wanted to go to this place in the woods up in the middle of nowhere in Connecticut, and he wanted me to go with him. And at the time, I'm a single guy, so it was like a cute girl, and I'm like, all right, I'll be the cool guy. I'll take the cute girl with me. Maybe she'll get a little scared, and I'll get a little cuddle time. So I'm like, all right, let's go. So we get up there. I always carry a flashlight with me. It doesn't matter where I am, what I'm doing. So his thing was, oh, what are you scared? You don't believe in ghosts, but you carry a flashlight. I'm like, well, we are walking through the woods at like 2 o'clock in the morning, so I don't want to break my ankle. So whatever, you can call me whatever you want. So there was a pathway that was probably 25, 30 feet long, you know. Um, so we walk in there, and there's a small field. And there's like a one-room, kind of a long house, and there's nothing in it. We're in there, and we're looking around. It almost looked like a pavilion, but had windows and things in it. So I'm walking around, just kind of looking at some of the graffiti and people scratching names in the wood and things like that. And he said, I just want to let you guys know the last time I was here, I got chased out. So I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, chased out, like the police came or the property owner came. He says, no, it's state property. It wasn't the police. He goes, I'm not really sure what it was. He goes, but I was antagonizing the spirit that was supposed to be here, and they didn't like it that I was here. And I thought to myself, like, if you think the place is haunted, why would you try to pick on a ghost? That doesn't really, A, seem fair, and B, seem smart. If there is a ghost here, why would you poke at it? And I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea. So he goes through, and we're walking, and he starts to get really antsy. And so I said, what's going on? He goes, it's back. And I'm like, what's back? Now I'm looking around. I'm like, all right, what's going on? He drops down and starts screaming. And he says, I got to get out of here. And he takes off. So, like, I'm following him with my flashlight to make sure he has light to see where he's going, because he's booking it. So we get back to the car, and he's like, I told you I shouldn't have came here. I'm like, no, you didn't, dude. You told me you wanted to come here. What are you talking about? The weirdest thing ever. And I'm sure somebody on here is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I never pretended to. He took his shirt off, and he had 4 marks all over his body where you can't reach on your back. Like, you can't physically reach certain parts of your back. On his legs, on his stomach, on his back, on his neck, on his arms. Took his shoes off. He had them under his socks, and it was like a cat scratched him. Like they were little raised. It's like if a cat scratches you. But there was 4 of them, and they were straight lines, like something was Freddy Krueger in them. I never could quite understand that. I was kind of like, that probably freaked me out the worst out of anything I've ever seen. So that was another ghost story that I have. I guess that would be a ghost story. It's definitely an unexplainable story, but that was probably the one that really made me be like, yeah, there's things out there, and yes, I don't want to mess with them because I just saw what they did to him. Um, and I couldn't really explain why it didn't hurt me, but I think because I wasn't antagonizing it, and I wasn't, I wasn't trying to communicate. I wasn't trying to, antagonize. I wasn't looking for it. And I always joke and say, I'm blessed with Jesus fire. Like, I'm good. Spirits are gone. They're not going to mess with me. But that was a really weird story. Um, oh, all right. I'll tell you one more. Okay. Yeah, I think he had 4. It could have been 3, but I think it was 4. But it would make sense, I guess. Um, so another cool one is I have a friend of mine that grew up with my nephew, and he had joined the fire department with me. And he would always talk about how he has full conversations with his grandmother. And his grandmother passed away years before. And he said, I don't like talking about it because people think I'm crazy. And I said, well, I don't think you're crazy. Like, if you believe that you're talking to your grandmother, like, who am I to say that you're not? And he said, well, I know that I talk to my grandmother because she doesn't like my sister-in-law. And every time my sister-in-law is at the house, she throws one of my Matchbox cars out of my collection from the wall shelf that I have them on, and she hits her with them. Which I think is kind of funny. Because if she was anything like my old grandma, my grandma would do some stuff like that. Like, get out of here. So I always thought that was kind of funny. So, like, I never really thought much of it. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool, Kid talks to his grandmother. Yeah, he probably had a good relationship with her, and he talks to her. And he said that his grandmother was always a shut-in, so she never liked the blinds to be open. He said he could leave the house, open up all the blinds, and he could literally go next door, and he knows nobody was in the house. He comes back, all the blinds are down and closed. So he thought it was cool. He didn't think anything bad about it. He wasn't spooked about it. He wasn't, that was his grandmother, so he doesn't care. So anyway, so we're sitting in it, and I guess at first I was kind of like, yeah, he talks to his grandmother, sure. But what made me really start to believe what he was saying is that he swears that he saw a ghost at the firehouse. Now, 99.99999% of firehouses, you're going to get somebody in that firehouse to say their firehouse is haunted. I suppose it's plausible because I would assume most firehouses either had somebody that was killed in the line of duty or an overtired member that maybe passed on, and that's just they stay at the firehouse to do whatever they do. Whether they're watching over the other firemen, whether they just feel like that's where they belong, or either way, you know what I mean. So he goes downstairs to the truck floor, and he's having a cigarette. And he comes back upstairs, and he's like, I hate to say, white as a ghost. And I'm like, Steve, what's going on? And he goes, I just saw a ghost downstairs. He's like, but I don't know who that guy is. And I said, well, what did he look like? So he described him. And I said, was there anything better that you could describe him about? Because he's describing a guy that did pass away, and he was an old timer, and he was actually a friend of mine. I used to have multiple great talks with this guy. Great guy, really nice guy. He was a retired city fireman. He stayed on the volunteer side, and whatever. So he started describing him, and it sounded like him. So I'm like, is there anything else you could describe about me? He goes, yeah, he was wearing his fire gear. I said, okay. I said, was there any distinguishing marks? Because I know what his fire gear used to look like. He said, yeah, he had an AIFF patch on his chest, and he had 3556 on his wrists, on his jacket wrists. And this guy's firefighter ID was 3556. So I said, well, congratulations, you met Mike. And he goes, wow, there's really a ghost here? He goes, I thought everybody just made that up to scare people. I said, I've never seen Mike. I mean, I saw him when he was alive. I said, but what did he do? So if you can imagine like two bays, so there's two garage doors, and on one side is an ambulance, and the other side is a fire truck. And then there's one bay that goes out the back, so it kind of looks like a Y. And behind the ambulance, there's a desk with a chair, and we used to just kind of hang out down there. And he said he was down there smoking a cigarette. And he said walking between the ambulance and the fire truck, he sees this fireman in his full turnout gear. And he kind of just looks at him, and he kind of gives him the two fingers like, hey, how's it going? And he walked to the back bay and just like disappeared. But he described him to a T. So I thought that was kind of neat. That's about all the ghost stories I have for you guys. There's not really much else that I know. That's pretty much my whole entire existence in that realm of the world. But they're pretty cool stories, so I guess that's nice. I have a friend who swears she sees where people commit suicide. Like, she'll be driving down the road and see, like, a highway sign, and she'll say, hey, there's a guy hanging over there. I'm like, what? And then she'll go on Google and she'll show me that somebody did kill themselves there. Like, she could see this stuff. And she says that it's a bit of a curse to her. She doesn't like seeing a lot of that stuff. But to each his own, I guess. So anyway, that's my cool story. See, you guys got a pretty entertaining show tonight, right? I'm giving you some good pearls here. I'm going to have to think of a lot of better stuff to talk about, though, because I kind of unloaded on you guys today. So if there's anybody new that came in, if you have any questions for me, I'm an open book. I'm not afraid to talk about just about anything. So if you have any questions about my truck, about the road, about me, anything, I'm here. I can answer it for you. I can't wait until I get Fallen to actually be a mod, because then she could put, like, cool stuff on there. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can do it. I don't know if it's really going to do it the right way. I don't know what I'm doing with this stuff. So if I do that, I just do that. I guess that's my handle on Twitter. I know it sounds really dirty with the FK, but I didn't mean it that way. It's for Finders Keepers Transport. I just couldn't get that long of a name on Twitter. And you're already on the YouTube channel. Let's see. I don't know how to promote my channel on Facebook, but it's Facebook is I think if you just search that on Facebook, it'll pop up the Facebook page, which is kind of cool. See, Fallen knows how to do it. So if I put it that way, it'll pop up like that. Oh, it doesn't change it. I don't know. Um, but yeah, if I don't know if you guys could put your link, if if you could just write your channel name for now, you guys feel free to message and put your channels up, and I'm sure everybody on here is subscribed to each other. I think. If not, then you can put it on there, I guess. Because I think it's kind of cool that I'm finding like social media is kind of like the trucking industry, the cool trucking industry, not the scumbag trucking industry. Because there is a bad side to trucking too, where you have the drivers that look at people differently. I've never really looked at anybody differently. Um, Even being at terminals, like a lot of company guys won't talk to. So I'm classified as an IC. I'm an independent contractor. So, um, oh, okay. So that's cool. Good to know, Amanda. Thank you. So a lot of company guys won't talk to ICs, and a lot of ICs won't talk to company guys, and I never understood that because there's really no difference between them and I, except for I have a lot more bills to pay. Like, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. So for me to run my truck every week, 1 week, it costs me between insurance, all different insurances. There's like 7 of them I got to pay. Between insurances, I contribute to a maintenance fund every week, so that way if something breaks, I have money set aside. I contribute to what they call a skip payment. So like during Christmas, I take a week or two off during Christmas because I love Christmas time and I love spending time with my family. Or like when I went to Canada for a week with my mom, I could just kind of take, I could take a week off. So my truck payment, my insurances, my maintenance, and my skip payment, and then I add my fuel costs because I have to pay for my own fuel. It costs me between $2,200 and $2,500 a week before I see any money, before I make any money. So that'll kind of give you an idea of what it costs to run a truck. Um, my truck payment alone is $850 a week. That's what I pay a week. So, like, a lot of guys, you'll see them at terminals, and they're talking to a company guy, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I made $3,000 this week." Probably did, but 2,500 that went to the truck. So really, did you make any more money than that company driver? No. I do better than that. I'm not going to get into my finances, but I do better than that, and I do uh, become profitable. But I think a lot of people that aren't familiar with it, um, they don't understand the actual cost of running a truck. I spend more per year on just fuel than my wife makes a year at her full-time job, and she gets paid decent. I spend probably between $45,000 and $60,000 in fuel a year. So that's my biggest expense to run the truck because every time I fill my truck up, you're talking between $400 and $600. I get old 200 gallons of diesel, and the average cost right now is about $2.80 a gallon up in the Northeast. Down south in the Midwest, it's a little bit cheaper, but you're still talking between low side $400, high side $600. Fill my tanks up, and I get about 1,100 miles off of that tank. So, yeah, it's an expensive career, but it's profitable if you know what you're doing. And it took me a while to learn what I was doing, but uh, I've kind of made it good. Oh, You know what I got to do is I got to do. Whoa, that was weird. I just saw a Twitter thing pop on my screen. Um, what's kind of cool is that I ordered a setup to do um, my lives, my live feeds. So I think it'll work really nice. And like right now, I really can't understand why my phone is doing this. Why it was so bright when I was like testing it, and setting up things, and things like that. I don't know why it's acting funny. It's not really that dark in here. It's pretty bright actually. Where's this go? Let's see. Well, that just fixed things, didn't it? Now you guys see my crazy gel mohawk that thing. That's better. Um, so let's see if I could show you guys on screen here what I bought. I got this really cool. Um, it's almost like a tripod for my phone, but it's got a light ring on it. Let's see if I can pull it up here on. So yeah, I got one of these things, and I thought it was pretty cool because it actually extends up to um, 51 inches. So if I could get that, what I can do is, let's see, it's got this kind of like cool thing that clamps on for your phone, and then like maybe it'll come with this nice model, and she can really promote my show for me. Yeah, right. Um, but yeah, it looks like it'd be kind of cool, and you know, it wasn't very expensive. It was $32, and it comes with the selfie ring. It comes with like different shades of rings too, like depending on what you're doing. Because I'm a pasty Irishman, I can make myself like Jersey Shore tan maybe. So I ordered that. That's gonna be at my house tomorrow. I'll have it tomorrow. So maybe I will do like a little cool thing about that. So yeah, I think that'd be kind of neat. I We'll see if it helps. You know, can't hurt, right? You won't know until you try. All right, last 5 minutes. Get your questions in. You're gonna miss out. You're gonna miss out. Come on, Amanda. I know you got a question for me. Somebody's got a question for me. This is pretty cool. Now I know why Ghost Dog gets all addicted to this stuff, and he's doing them all the time. I'm gonna have to talk to him and make sure his schedule doesn't interfere. I don't want to. I don't want to interfere with his schedule. He does more later night things. We got to get Eddie and them on this. I like that guy. He's cool. Let's see if I have any cool. Nothing really cool on this one. I was gonna try to see if I had any cool pictures and stuff. Yeah, Eddie's good people, man. You guys are all good people, you know. And I was trying to explain that to my buddy. He was like, "You're on a ghost hunting page doing a live feed." He's like, "You do that?" I'm like, "No, but the people are real cool, and I just kind of hang out with them." He's like, "So but you don't talk about ghost stuff. And I'm like, no, I kind of just hijack the page and just talk about whatever. So yeah, we're we're spreading the word. We're spreading the word that the stigma of truckers being dirty, nasty people and paranormal people are just crazy people that would we could break those stigmas to like, hey, we're all just normal people. We just have cool interests that we all think are interesting to us, and everybody's a little bit different. So let's just accept everybody. You know what I mean? So it's cool. What are my plans for my channel? You know, I have this vision, honestly, of just going day by day, falling. I really don't have a uh, I don't really have a focus on it. I'm kind of just winging it, see where it goes. Eventually, if I can get like big enough, I know there's some trucking channels out there that are actually really big, and they have like tens of thousands of viewers on it, but they've been doing it for like 10 years or so. If I could get like enough to spread awareness, I eventually want to do like some live interviews, maybe interview some other truckers, um, or like when I go to the truck shows, like Attica. By the way, Fallen, if he doesn't give you that one of those stickers, make sure you let me know. Um, if I could get the word out for different things of some of the causes I believe in, like Attica, Truckers Final Mile, St. Christopher's Foundation, Truckers Against Trafficking. I just saw one the other day. It was like Truckers Against Spousal Abuse, or it could be like women abuse. There's a lot of really good trucking organizations out there that are really trying to make awareness to a lot of problems that we're having in the world that are trying to make a difference. So like, I would like to get more into that. I would like to figure out one day how to like do a live feed where I could bring somebody remotely in. I bet I could do it on StreamYard. Um, but if I could figure something out like that, I would do something like that. Um, like eventually, I'm probably gonna end up getting a laptop that has Verizon service on it because I can get it through my business, and then I could just kind of go live whenever I want on the laptop. And that's something that I would probably do. I think the next time I do a live in the truck, um, I'm gonna go through my tactical bag, and that's my preparedness. Um, I'll go through a lot of that stuff, and then I'll take you guys for a little tour of my truck and show you how I kind of have things arranged and things of that nature. But with that said, as much as I hate to do it, I gotta get going. I don't know where Chief went. Chief, thanks for coming in. Amanda, I'm praying for you, girl, that these recent issues you've been having get resolved. Fallen, thanks for all your help and your advice and coming and checking out the show and being good people to me. I appreciate it. Um, uh, I don't know if the Canadian Witches, if you're still here, thank you for coming in. Um, Mary, thanks for stopping by. I'm just looking because I'm bad with names. Mary, Canadian Witches, uh, Amanda, Fallen, Chief. If somebody else was here that didn't comment, hey, thanks for coming and checking out my little live feed here. Um, I'm gonna try to do one over the weekend when I'm at home. If I don't have a chance, I hope you guys understand. Usually when I'm home, it's like 100% family time for me because my time is very limited with them. But if anything, I'll try to do like either a drone thing this weekend. It's supposed to rain Thursday and Friday, I believe, and Saturday. I can't say it on here because I don't know if people watch, but this weekend's going to be some cool stuff going on, so I'll update you guys on that next time I go live. Um, and yeah, that would be, that'll be like my deal. And then when I come back on the road, we could always chat some more and do it all over again. This is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. So if you guys have anything you want to see, or if you have anything you want to talk about, um, you have my Twitter. I I don't know if you can you like DM on YouTube, Fallen? Is that something that's possible? Because I never saw some. I know you could like comment back and forth and people will see it, but I don't know about as far as DMing. If you guys would like, I'll do you one better. So there is my business email. If you guys have a suggestion or a question or a topic that you want me to talk about, feel free to email me. And I will be more than happy to uh, put it out there for you. Like I said, I'm an open book. I can talk about just about anything. And that's about it. So I'm going to hop off. I can't wait to go see them. So I am hopping off. And I love you guys. And I will see you next time. And blessings to all. Thanks again.